Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wall Street Reporter's next Superstock live stream. For today, July 23rd, 2020, we have a special presentation from NexTech AR Solutions. Stock symbol OTC is NEXCF and NTAR on the CSE. For those of you new to the program, our focus is on bringing you stocks which have 10x to 100x potential, companies at key inflection points with multiple catalysts in place, companies really at the threshold of explosive growth. Those of you who have been watching our live streams for the past year have seen NexTech be a perfect example of that, as the stock started at 50 cents last August, recently hit a high of $7.50, and now we could be at the precipice of great things to come. So today's live stream is going to have Evan Gappelberg, the CEO of NexTech AR, Paul Duffy, the legend of Toronto, the president of NexTech, and the format for today is they will speak for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. And again, it's your questions that really make these events special. We got a lot of questions already that came in from last night, and again, please ask away inside the chat. So we look forward to answering every question that comes in. With that being said, let me turn you over to Evan Gappelberg. Evan, take it away.
Thanks, Jack. Wow, what a wild week it's been for everybody. A lot of volatility for sure, but the long and strong ultimately are prevailing. And so part of this presentation really is geared towards Inferno AR and really revealing, which Paul will demo, the entire platform to all of our investors, because it's an important part of our growth as we transition. The company is transitioning and really transforming from just a startup company in the AR space, where everything was kind of an experiment. A lot of time and energy went into testing and research and development. We're now moving very rapidly into being in the market, generating revenue, commercial development, and scaling of our business. Another part of our future, which really starts now, is mergers and acquisitions. We've made 4 acquisitions since we've been public. We actually expect that to ramp up significantly, and we think that there's enormous amounts of opportunity, partly because of the disruption of COVID, partly just because of the fact that we're able to raise capital and be in market very, very quickly as a public company. That gives us an advantage in the marketplace. And this is kind of a natural progression, or really organic transformation that's happening at NexTech. So our business is accelerating, it's firing on all cylinders, and we believe that this is only the beginning of what we see as the ramping up globally for anything virtual continues. It was triggered by COVID-19, and now that really accelerated the digital transformation that's happening all around us. Again, this is a global transformation, not just what's happening in the US, so it's significant. It is a paradigm shift that's happening at the same time that you have this global transformation. And the paradigm shift is, as everybody knows, this work from home, shop from home, new reality that has been thrust upon us. And it's not going away. It's a paradigm shift, doesn't shift back. It's a shift, and that becomes the new paradigm, and it's accelerating. And the reason why this work from home, shop from home, new paradigm is not going away is because of the ROI. There's a tremendous return on investment. It's simply a better business model. Nobody believed that you could get the kind of return or the kind of productivity out of people working from home. Nobody believed that. You want to see somebody come into the office. Well, guess what? Productivity actually has gone through the roof. I have a friend of mine who works at a multi-billion-dollar global company. They have 8 offices throughout the entire world. His CEO made the decision to shut down all offices. Everybody work from home. There is no office anymore. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar public company that has 5,000 employees. I mean, that is a paradigm shift. And the reason, again, is it's simply a better business model to have this hybrid life work balance. We're going to the office and sitting at a desk. It's no longer a job requirement. I'm interviewing. It used to be, hey, you got to be able to come into the office. It's no longer the case. It's, hey, you know, are you good at your job? So it's going to continue to drive insatiable demand for everything remote, everything virtual. For NexTech, we're in the right place at the right time with the right technology stack. It's really as simple as that. Our newly acquired video conferencing and virtual event software, plus our augmented reality-based technology, along with our e-commerce, along with our 3D AR ad network, makes for a very potent mix and really gives us a competitive advantage as we have what I believe to be the most diverse product and most exciting product offering in the industry today. If you look at some of our competitors, and there's only really a few, Why My Hologram, which is really a holographic ad network out of China, so it's hard to really know what they do exactly. But anyway, they're public. They had about $35 million in revenue, and they have over a $1.2 billion market cap. That's 35 times revenue. Zoom, $50 billion market cap, 70 times revenue. NexTech, we have roughly $500 million market cap and about a 20 times our expected 2020 revenue. So when you look at our comps, and as we go into 2021, the number is only going to grow. It's low compared to our competitors. If you look at our growth, we reported our preliminary Q2 numbers, so these are not actually our final numbers, but they're, obviously we believe in these numbers. Otherwise, we wouldn't have put them out. So revenue went up 133% for Q2 to 3.5 million. Gross profit was up 171% to 2.1 million, which I'm very proud to report. 60% margin is not easy to achieve with the kind of products that the mix that we have. We do believe that margin is going to go up into the 70+ range over the next 12 months. Cash on hand, very strong, over 6 million. Working capital, 7, and of course, having the Royal Bank of Canada approve us for a $600,000 credit line, again, was very gratifying. Obviously, uplisting to Nasdaq is a big part of our going forward strategy. We do think it's going to provide us with a lot of additional investors. Institutional investors is really what we're looking for in the U.S. And of course, our Inferno AR virtual events product launched in really May, June timeframe, and now it's scaling. I'm a big believer. I put my money where my mouth is. This week, I bought 250,000 shares and invested another $175,000. I'm the largest shareholder. I've purchased the vast majority of my shares. And so if you look at our going forward strategy, our leadership position, it's now pretty evident that we are a leader in this industry. And as that has become more evident, we're getting more and more M&A opportunities. Again, mergers and acquisitions is really going to be a big part of our future. We're being approached by innovative augmented reality companies and virtual reality companies. We see virtual reality as having a seat at the table. I think virtual reality does play into this new virtual world. And I think for product training and more deep diving, I think virtual reality is going to play a role in this new virtual world. And so again, we've closed 4 deals in the last 18 months, and we're always in discussions. And so don't be surprised if something pops up. If you think about our business segments, our AR e-commerce, we put out an estimate back in 2019 that we would do as a company roughly 15 to 20 million in revenue in 2020. That's still on target for that part of the business. Now, let's be clear. We put that number out in 2019. A lot has changed in 2020. Everything has accelerated. And in 2019, we did not have Inferno AR. So while we haven't updated the numbers yet, you can connect the dots. We have put out enough information that if you get your calculator out, you could connect the dots. We are seeing more demand for web AR. ARitize is our white label app, more and more use cases. Our 3D AR ad network, I don't want anyone to discount that. That is a significant opportunity for us. We launched that in January of 2020. It's live, it's functioning, it's in market. We pivoted to Inferno AR. We're now spending some energy now that Inferno AR is scaling back at the 3D AR ad network, and we are in discussions with some very major names and accounts, which some of you have heard about. So we think that in Q4 that our 3D AR ad network will be another source of potential revenue for NexTech. Now, back to Inferno AR, because that really is the focus of this live stream. Inferno AR, if you look at the platform, it really is an enterprise level platform. It offers custom workflow, cognitive search and discovery, many interactive features. It's hyper secure with multiple CDN streaming opportunities. The front and the back, you have the firewall. The platform services Fortune 500 businesses for many, many years. These are not new accounts. These are accounts that we acquired when we acquired Jalokia, Johnson & Johnson, Viacom, Polycom. And so it's just a very robust platform. It's been providing top products and services in the video streaming space for 10 plus years. So on that note, without further ado, I'm going to bring in Paul Duffy, who is the president of NexTech, and he has been in market working day and night, 7 days a week to bring this Inferno AR product to market, to land deals. He is the man behind the scenes making all of it happen for NexTech and NexTech shareholders. And he's here to demo the platform. Paul, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Evan. Hello, everybody, and hello from Toronto. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. I'm just going to share my screen here and, give me one moment to get it set up. Appreciate the intro, Evan. That was awesome. I'm going to move a few things around. Hopefully we're good to go here.
Yep.
There we are. Okay, so this completely unimpressive screen is our login to AV 2020. It's the basically the interface, if you would, to Inferno AR. What's cool about it is that even though it was a basic registration page, to Evan's point, it's the doorway through to a completely scalable enterprise class platform. It allows you basically as a business, think about it more as an event platform as a service. In this day and age of COVID, it's abundantly clear that the world's moved to what is today a video first format for communicating, particularly real-time video. And with the acquisition of Jalokia, the integration of our engineering team and their engineering team, we were able to take that core platform that they had been very successful at and take our capability, put it on top, and create a completely novel and new product pointed directly into the event market space, which I'm sure if anybody's looked at it, it's just enormous. There's millions of events that have literally come to an immediate standstill as of roughly February and March this year. the demand for people looking to fill that gap or fill that need is extraordinary. We're seeing it every day, and we're talking to 10 or 20 new prospects every day, showing them basically what I'm showing you now. So at a very top level, what makes Inferno cool is that it's a kind of happy marriage between a content management system like WordPress that allows you to rapidly and quickly create full, rich experiences on the web through your browser. It's 100% responsive. So I'm able to view on my computer's browser, my tablet, and my smartphone. So we can build the event once and then scale it across all those devices. So just like our AR, we're able to tap on pretty much the maximum aperture for what's possible to display. What makes the tech really key are these event types over here on the left, what we basically call widgets. They're like little Lego blocks, and what they allow us to do is to drag in a live broadcast, a panel, a workshop, an AR experience, a dynamic booth, and pull those together into an agenda or a track that can actually come together to create a conference, a trade show. If you want to do a hands-on product tour, if you're in a sales presentation, obviously we're doing lots and lots of training from home, webinars, webcasts, and panels. Today, we're basically up to well over 10 million views on the platform. That represents several million registered attendees. We've done over 75,000 events, which is extraordinary. I mean, over the life cycle of the Jalokia platform, and to Evan's earlier point, enterprise clients like Johnson & Johnson, Viacom, CBS, Polycom. Here in Canada, the Alberta Health Services as a province use the platform within their hospital network, and they have a public-facing portal that their citizenry can use to get updates on COVID. So it's ubiquitous in its deployment, and it's got an awful lot of different use cases around the notion of an event. But at the end of the day, it's enterprise class. We're currently running in over 100 countries. That today, on top of this presentation I'm giving you on the platform, there are live events going on in upwards to 100 different locations around the world. So it's extraordinary in its capability. One of the things that makes the platform very unique from a delivery point of view is our ability to blend in augmented reality in the context of an event. So not only are we able to take and manufacture a fairly immersive event experience just from a 2D perspective, but as you know, our roots are in augmented reality. So we're able to actually bring up and twin the experience between your desktop computer and your phone. So let's take this for a little bit of a ride and see if I can actually pull this off. Hopefully this comes up okay and you can see my screen. So I'll start by just giving you a little basic example. It's very, very simple. You just open your phone, you point it at your screen. In this case, it's a booth. You open your camera and you point it at the screen.
So this is live, Paul?
Yeah,
this
it's live. Yeah, go ahead, Evan. You can talk over it if you want. I don't mind.
No, you
just
go ahead.
Load it up. Yeah, okay.
To make sure everyone understood it's live.
Yeah, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to place that booth right here in my office. And I can basically take the booth and I can walk around it. I can interact with it. I can have all sorts of fun with it. If I want, I can bring up another booth. I'll just load it right here. And I can basically walk into the booth. I can walk around it. I can see the products. I can see the other people in my office, but I can also stream in video. And so I can actually bring in video from the event, put it onto my booth, just like I would if I was at a trade show. I can walk over to this screen. I can see the products. I can have all sorts of branding, but I'm actually viewing this entire experience while I'm in the middle of an online conference on my computer. So it's a very powerful way to pull in the augmented reality experience directly onto the system. Another use is our portal technology. And this is quite popular. I'll use this example. As you guys know, the Government of Canada is a client of ours. This is one of their use cases. The Department of Agriculture, representing hundreds of food manufacturers across the nation, came to a complete standstill on their ability to market and deliver essentially pavilions and conferences. And so when they approached us, they asked us if there was a way that we could supplement that capability as they go through the COVID experience. And so this is a great example where a very popular product, lobster, if you would, from Nova Scotia, is actually marketed. You can basically go up to the booth. I can place a door here, and I'll turn this on so hopefully
Well, I
you
respect
can
it
hear
because
this.
I was born a fisherman.
But I'm assuming you
And
can
that's
hear.
all I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
stuck to all my life,
Okay, so
involved
let's
in the
go through
fishing
the door
industry.
here. I'm
In
now
the
on his
evening,
boat.
we
It's
prepare
5
for the
a.m. in
next
the
day's
morning.
fishing,
And as you
check
can hear
our
him
fuel,
narrating,
put our bait
he's
aboard.
telling us about what it's like to get ready
You know,
on his
from
boat.
industry's perspective, we find the
So
weather
I'm able to
reports
walk
can be very
around
unpredictable.
on the North
So
Atlantic,
you have to be
and all
prepared
the while I'm
when you're
basically
at sea and what's going on.
presentation.
You best
And now you can see
respect
him
the
here
ocean because it
actually
don't respect you.
fishing his lobster, pulling it up, bringing it onto his boat. And then when I'm done, I literally walk back through the door over to my computer screen, and I'm basically there back in front as either an attendee or a
yeah,
presenter in
yeah.
the.
So Paul, I just want to jump in real quick because
No problem.
you know, what people are seeing is really immersive technology, and so Paul, as everybody saw, was standing in our office in Toronto, but he was in this immersive environment where he was on this fishing boat in Nova Scotia, or wherever it was, this lobster fishing boat with the lobster fishermen. And it was as if he was there, and we all saw it. And that's happening, you know, real time, live. And the only thing that Paul had to do to make that happen was scan a QR code on screen. That's it. That's the magic of the platform, is that it's frictionless. And
Yeah.
so, Paul, keep wowing me.
Okay, hang on here. So I'm going to load this to full screen, but I'll set it up. This is our screen AR capability. And this came about as a result of talking to a lot of our new clients who are in market doing events. And in addition to being able to pull out portals and booths, what they said to us was, we would love the opportunity to expand out the screen interface so that all the activity can move beyond the 2D world and enter a spatial 3D world. And so using the same mechanisms, your camera on your phone, click a QR code, we're able to literally take this screen, I'm going to put this to full screen for everybody to see it, and actually load and then anchor to that 2D screen a fully volumetric AR experience.
I never
And
get tired of that.
yeah, it's beautiful. So the booth I showed earlier, right there, full interactivity. So you can download PDFs, you can bring together video, you can pull up Zoom sessions, but more importantly, you click a button, a brand ambassador shows up and talks to you, live or pre-recorded. You can go through and cycle and have your products, your video. As you see here, I'm able to bring in a Zoom chat. If I want to download a brochure, I just click a button, a brochure comes down, I can scroll through it. So we're essentially taking, in the virtual event space, what is a flat 2D booth. You maybe be able to move around it a little bit, but we're actually able to extend it from the screen and now open that canvas up where you can actually have people walk right onto your keyboard and talk to you. So it's a phenomenal experience, and it's worked incredibly well for us. We also have a number of other event types that we stitch together to create these types of, I'll call them immersive events. A video with AR in it, live broadcast, literally drag a click over, bring it up, and you're broadcasting live. Same with panels. We fit into virtually every conference tool on the planet right now. So if you use Zoom, you drag Zoom in, we package it up, and we beam it through the system. If you use Microsoft Teams, Skype, WebEx, GoToMeeting, it doesn't matter. We work with clients now all the way from Bell to, who I'll show in a minute, Southwest Expo, who will use WebEx internally at an enterprise level, all the way to a group like Southwest Expo, who might use every platform that's out there for their booths. So it's very robust and very scalable. We also have interactive video where we can insert questions directly into the video, and all our video comes with closed captioning, and we can transcribe up to 60+ languages in real time. So it's very, very powerful that way. So if I go back here to the lobby, let me just show you hang on here, turn my phone off, a registration page. So like all platforms, you can set the registration up. When we work with clients, they're almost always asking us for branding, for sponsorship, and the ability to pull in either, premium, or gold level, diamond level, so we can design any pre-event package that's required in the registration process. The system itself will actually single sign-on into Cvent, Ticketmaster, Salesforce.com, or even your own existing database if you're an association. We also have our own very robust registration system. And really what we're doing is when you're registering, we're categorizing you as a registrant so that we can match make and network within the system. We have a little bit of AI that connects those dots, if you would, and I'll show you later how we can go through that. But at the end of the day, we have a very robust registration system. This is critical. The reason for it is everybody we're speaking to Evan's point at the beginning, the idea that the new paradigm shift has occurred, that people are moving into this next new norm, this has not stopped from a marketing point of view. Events, which were one-off daily gatherings, are now becoming very sophisticated channels for marketing into your prospects and into your customers. So while you may have a day-long or a 3-day event, you got to know that it's going to run post-event for 30, 60, 90 days afterwards. It's a channel with which you can continue to market. So registration information is key because that's how we're working to qualify all the leads. So to give you a good example, let me show you one. I just mentioned them earlier. This is actually their registration page. They launched it yesterday. It's one of our clients. I'm going to run the video here. Hopefully you can hear it. I'll turn the volume down a bit. They've adopted the Screen AR technology, and this is literally at their registration page when you go. And here's their VP, Liz Patrick, talking specifically about the value proposition.
Hi, I'm Liz Patrick with Service World Expo. I know you've been wondering about our show and watching and listening to the news just as we have. We really wanted to host Service World Expo live in Tampa this fall, but your safety and that of our attendees and our staff is just too important, and it's time to pivot. While I'm disappointed we won't all be together in Tampa, I'm super excited about virtual Service World Expo. This is going to be like nothing you've ever seen before, nothing like a Zoom meeting. We'll have main stage keynotes, we'll have concurrent breakout sessions, we'll have dedicated time for a virtual expo hall. Imagine your booth as a virtual booth, a 3D booth that contractors can walk into, where they can download content seamlessly and have real-time conversations with you. You can have private meeting rooms. You can have your product as a hologram that a contractor can actually reach out and play with virtually. Peter will reach out to you about your booth and what you want to do there.
So hopefully you could hear that audio. It would be terrible if you couldn't.
Yeah.
Could you not?
No, we could totally hear it. I want to point out how incredible that is. What we just witnessed was one of our new, so let's just rewind. We launched Screen AR last week, Thursday. We presented to Service World Expo and they said, yes, we want it. And what they're trying to do and what they're going to do is they're demoing it themselves, and then they're going to sell it to their 100 booth inhabitants. And so the potential here in terms of revenue is in the many hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's one account. So, you know, what we're doing is not just virtual events. We're actually doing a lot more than that. It's virtual events plus this holographic world that we're bringing to virtual events, which is an additional add-on. It's a la carte. It's, hey, yo, you could do your virtual event on our platform, and they compare us to other platforms. But then when we show them that, you know, like everyone just saw, they all just basically say, oh, that's what I want. And so that woman does not work at NexTech. She is a customer. She green screened herself. She sent us her video. We turned that around. It was live on Monday. That was, you know, epic from a delivery standpoint, something brand new to be able to bring it to market, monetize it, and deliver a fantastic, reveal product. I can't tell you, Paul, how exciting that is.
It's amazing.
See that.
Yeah. Kudos to the team, right? I mean, everybody that we speak to from a prospect point of view, if they're doing an intra-company event, which I'll show you a few of, they love the platform because effectively, you know, it is like building a very robust website as a video conference platform with AR. Super unique, right? The second thing is if you're an event business and or a designer of an event, you're able to now monetize your live event in this capacity and actually extend its capability beyond the physical gathering that was happening. And so Southwest Expo is a very strong and good example of that. You know, we're back here in the lobby. These lobbies, by the way, everything is dynamic. It is fully responsive. So as I mentioned, you know, you can bring it on big screens. They look gorgeous. The traffic that we see, the attendee attention that's happening, oftentimes we notice people will actually take their computer, put it on their big screen TV, and actually sit back and watch it because the graphics and the experience are gorgeous. If you've got an event and you do have sponsorship and branding, we've got plenty of places for you to drop the brands, the logos, so your opportunity to monetize that's quite significant. If I go into, say, a general session, I'll call this like a main stage. Basically, we've got a couple of really key features here. Now, I'm actually going to use a video of another event we've just done to highlight this. But we can design these any way that's relevant to the actual event. So it's theme, it's layout, but in general terms, we've got in this one polling. So imagine we're in now a panel. It's Evan and I talking. We've got Jack here with us, and we're literally broadcasting, but we may have several thousand people watching this. And so as they're watching it, we've always got polling, we've got chatting going on, not unlike what we're doing today. You can ask questions down here, and then inevitably you're going to have a banner for sponsorship or key call outs of either people or brands. But basically, when you're running the video, it's very straightforward. You come in, it's a live experience. Here in the middle, basically what I've got, I'll just bring this up, maybe I can move this ahead. I've got a gentleman here, this is from Arch, one of our clients. We basically beamed this in about probably 4 weeks now, an internal leadership conference, several thousand attendees, pulled in people from all over the country. They delivered the panel. They would use the polling capability on the right, probably a bit hard to see in this video, but you've basically got the polling data being updated in real time, and then we're bringing the panelists in and out as they're talking. So very powerful, but you can see here the categories on the left from an agenda, keynote speaker, attendee list, etc. Very simple for us to snap that together and to create the event. So from a main stage point of view, there's a lot of flexibility on what we can do. The reason I highlight that is when you think about onboarding. So to Evan's point earlier about the growth of our backlog of business, we're booking events oftentimes once or twice a day right now. And so what we need to have is a highly scalable mechanism within our platform to be able to continue to scale the business. So this platform, AV 2020 that we call this, it's a augmented virtual conference platform, allows our teams to sit with our clients and in real time design the wireframe and attendee journey, and then pretty much create 80% of the event flow in a call like this. And that's remarkable because once we've got that event playbook built, we can hand that over to our development team to do the creative, to do the HTML programming, to wire up our video widgets, and then we can literally go live in a matter of weeks. So within 2 to 3 weeks, we literally launched the event. That's extraordinary given the demand that's coming up, how we're able to meet that with supply. Another area that I'll focus on is the exhibit hall. And, you know, this was very interesting because, you know, in the early days of COVID, when people were doing virtual events, exhibit halls basically were fancy little 3D booths. They would have avatars. They would have basically the ability to do all sorts of kind of gimmicky experiences. And we've had literally millions of people through this system, and we studied their traffic. We then went back to our customers and we said, what was the most successful experience in your attendees' journey? And what kept coming back to us was they wanted exhibit halls, networking sessions, and breakout rooms to look like a Netflix or an Apple TV or a Disney Plus interface, where you could literally come into the environment, you could look at it, it would have your premium branding on top, you would be able to go down, immediately find either the booth, the networking session, or the person. And if you wanted to, you could literally put featured banners or featured sessions that were typically paid for by the booth owners or by the sponsors in a priority sense. And then below that, you had this ability to pop in multiple categories where you could look at different booth types. And so we took that to heart and we built an entire exhibit booth engine out of that. Screen AR that we were showing you earlier is a material piece of that entire offer. It allows us to sit at scale with our customers and say, okay, what type of booth do you want? Do you want a small one, a medium one, or a large one? Not only that, but how do we systematically develop the booths for you so that you're not doing 3, 5, or 10, you're doing 50, 100, 300 at a time. And we were able to come up with the capability to do that on our platform. So we literally work with our clients. Southwest Expo is a great example, where we give them essentially a checklist, a document like you see here. They source from their booths, booth owners, the core materials, the videos, the PDFs, the Zoom that they would like to use, any graphics, and we bring that into our system. And then in an hour, sometimes two, we can create that booth very quickly in a highly automated sense.
Which speaks to the scale, right? That, I mean,
yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything we build is purpose built for scale, meaning the screen AR, even though it looks very bespoke, we've created that off of a template which allows us to drop in logos, drop in people as holograms. And, you know, that's what's going to allow NexTech's revenue to go from, you know, where it is to much higher levels.
Yeah, we think that, and we're seeing this right now with clients, but basically you're able to go in and create, we might do a program, an event for $40,000, and then we may have 100 additional exhibit booths that get tacked onto that. And they can range in as little as $500 to several $1,000s per booth. Our exhibiting partners, the groups that have engaged and hire us, they love that because they have almost doubled or tripled that revenue into their clients because that's how they make their money. And they were doing that quite successfully post-COVID. I think a lot of people, you know, when they think about it, Evan, that the market size for the meetings, exhibitions, conference space is it's you know, it's like $100+ billion. It's huge. Yeah.
Billion according to LinkedIn.
Yeah. So there's a robust ecosystem where people have been selling events, booths, sponsorship for decades. And now what we're doing is we're tilting this platform to give them the ability to do what they did best: sell sponsorship, sell booth space. They're just doing it now in the new norm.
Yep. And we're signing partnership agreements with, you know, basically people that put on these conferences where they have the clients, they know they have the Rolodex. What they don't have is the platform. And that's what we're providing. And there's no other platform. I'm just going to keep repeating it. There is no other platform that has augmented reality built into it. And that really is a tremendous competitive advantage in a $150 billion industry that's now up for grabs.
So let me take a few more minutes, walk you through the balance of AV 2020, and then I want to show you basically what we're doing in the world of higher ed. But basically, before I leave here, the platform also includes a full engine, not unlike our exhibit booth, for networking. So, you know, even things like cocktail hours, morning gatherings over coffee, lunch, breakout rooms, etc. It's all there. You've got full access to an on-demand library. There's no limit with the platform. Again, it's enterprise scale, hundreds, if not thousands of videos, PDFs, all searchable, all codified with whatever level you want. And some can be private, some can be slotted to that category I talked about as a registrant, but as an on-demand inventory of content, it's extraordinary. Hologram experiences. You know, I don't know, I could probably spin around a few of these. Evan, you think we might want to take a minute and show something from Scalable or one of our friends like that?
I think everybody gets the point. I think in you know, just to be mindful of everybody's time, you know, each one of those AR codes represents another AR experience that can be pulled off the screen and put in the room with you.
Yeah. So just quickly, we've got the library, agenda, all the standard stuff you would expect basically at an event, all at your fingertips. And so it's a platform we can lift up very quickly. It's very easy for us to literally jump into a sales call with the client, with our platform, and it's not uncommon for us to literally walk away from that call with essentially a wireframe of the event, a quote into a proposal, and over to the customer. And it's worked very well for us. It's a great workflow, and we're seeing the result in booked orders. I think before I leave, Evan, I've got one more thing I'd like to present if I could.
Yeah.
And I want to show and talk a little bit about what we're doing at Ryerson in the world of higher ed.
This is,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is something we've spoken about. We haven't done a full reveal yet, but
this is just a teaser. It's not a full reveal.
Yeah, this is just a teaser. Ryerson University, 50,000 plus students up in Toronto. I think it's Paul, your alma mater. I think it's a very prestigious school, and they're having us build for them. They've licensed our platform, and we're building augmented reality labs for them. And what this really represents is not just a deal with Ryerson University. What this really represents is ground zero for NexTech in terms of our ability to scale into all colleges throughout the world. It's really that big. And so this is just what we're doing here is kind of Ryerson's our test bed, where we're developing all of this amazing augmented reality. They're testing, we're testing, till we find that perfect product fit, that perfect market, that perfect product. And that's what Paul's kind of going to demo for you. This is just a demo.
Yeah. So this is the system. The single sign-on, again, gives them the ability to go into it. We call it Rail. It's the
They call it Rail, right?
Yeah, they came up with the name. Yeah. So quick shout out to,
it's a brilliant name.
The faculty, Dean of the Faculty of Science. I have to tell you, the executive at Ryerson, very, very, great to work with. Evan's point, we're all seeking that ultimate product market fit. We think we have found it, by the way. This has been in the works now for about 4 months. But it just speaks to the scalability of Inferno. And what I mean by that is, not unlike that virtual event you saw, we've got the categories on the left. In this case, it's full-on curriculums, right? We're talking biology, chemistry, physics. We're in the context of Faculty of Science, 12,000 plus students in that faculty alone. Year 1, year 2, year 3, even year 4 labs. Every university on the planet has this issue. It is systemic across nations worldwide. How do I bring one or more of my students into a lab for a hands-on experience? It's a use case that augmented reality, Inferno, and NexTech are perfect match for. And so here's their literal platform. You go into it, you can pick your very specific curriculum, or from their learner management system, it'll pull you right into the program. So if I'm in chemistry year 1, if I hit let's go, I can pop into this. I get a fully formed lab series. In this case, I guess there's 8 experiments that I'm going to go through the term. And then when I go into each experiment, I can simply click on it. I can download the experiment material. I get basically, like I would, the full introduction to it. But the interactive video capability of Inferno, which is completely unique, allows me to pre-assess myself. I can go into a video on the lab. I can answer questions. Until I get the right number of responses, I can't go any farther. So I pre-assess on the video. I bring in a Zoom lab. So I'm now Tuesday, 2 p.m. taking the lab. Once I go through that, I've also got all the background material on any kind of items that I need to know for the experiment. And then I've got this opportunity to go in with my actual partner and actually experience the lab as a hologram. So I'm watching it now as a video. In this case, it's a chemistry. I just bring in the microscope, I drop it in my room, I actually pull up the experience, and I'm looking at the material that I just went through the lab with. So it's very interactive. It gives me the ability to experience not all, but most of the lab. Here's a version where I can actually go in, I can bring in pipettes, test tubes, the spectrometer that I just learned about. I've got some little mascots and characters that I can play with.
What was
that? The point of it is, it's their little mascot. It's very interactive. And more to the point, these fit within the context of the ARtized plugin that allow us to make these at scale. So once we've created the workflow, once we've integrated with the teams, we're able to easily create rapidly multiple labs. Because as you can imagine, it's the number of labs required at each university, each college, and each high school is extraordinary. It's almost insatiable, the amount that need to be built.
Yeah, it's in the hundreds, right? And
yeah, literally.
Yes.
So I'll sign out of it just as a as a demo, but you know, that's a quick glimpse. We'll definitely in the coming weeks have a much more robust unveiling. But it's incredible what's happening in that space.
That was incredible, and thank you, Paul. That was an amazing demo. I'm sure all of our investors are blown away, as I am, that in just a short amount of time, we've been able to lift this business up, create all the value that we've created, and we're just getting started. I mean, I said that all throughout 2019 with augmented reality, but we're literally just getting started. We see opportunities in telemedicine. This same platform, this enterprise scale platform, can be purpose-built for telemedicine. Right now, we built it for virtual conferences. We just spent, as Paul said, a couple of months building it for Ryerson with augmented reality. And now we're going to pivot and put some resources towards telemedicine. We see unlimited opportunity for video with augmented reality. And we think that there's insatiable demand in the market for the combination of those two technologies, which is really very, very unique in terms of product and in terms of the fit, where it's this virtual world that everybody wants, which is, you know, video based. And then you have augmented reality, which just takes it to a whole nother level of immersiveness. So super exciting time for NexTech. I guess, Jack, we can open it up for questions, and we could go through some Q&A. I hope that wasn't too long. I know, you know, we really wanted to show a lot because we haven't really demoed any of this before. And the plan as we go forward is to be doing more and more demos and webinars and really continuing to roll out more and more features, more and more capabilities on the platform, which just creates more and more value for our shareholders.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we get about 149 questions so far. So we're gonna roll into the questions. Before we do that, I want to kind of sneak in my own question, which is, what's, you know, a lot of the stuff that you're showing, Paul, is like it depends on the AR experience comes through the phone, right? So what happens when the glasses, the AR glasses come in? Is that going to be a complete game changer for like the trade show booths, especially?
Totally.
Well, I mean, the entire technology stack that we're showing you today is completely aligned to being delivered through eyewear. I mean, it's going to be, you know, Evan knows this best. He could talk.
This is, you know, I know, like, you know, it's funny because when I first heard the NexTech story, like, oh, is the eyewear, it's coming. But now it's funny, just when I watched this demo, I actually, it sunk in like what the possibilities are, because, you know, I understand trade shows, I understand that business. And this could be, I mean, when the glasses come in, that's a real game changer. How much are the glasses going to sell for? Like the Apple?
Yeah. So just to address the glasses, you're 100% right, Jack. And we've talked about this many times on your show, that when the glasses drop,
I never understood it before. I didn't get it till now. I really didn't.
Now you see it. Yeah.
I thought it was for entertainment or whatever. This I get.
Yeah. The world is going to stop turning for a second when the glasses drop, and NexTech's value prop is going to go through the roof, in my opinion, because you will have a hands-free experience, right? You won't need the phone to be looking through to be able to experience these AR experiences. So we see the glasses as a big deal. We actually saw Samsung and Google are, we think, gonna put out some AR glasses in 2021. One of the things we've talked about internally is that if you think about colleges and universities, we're their sole source supplier of augmented reality. Well, in a lab, what do you wear? Glasses. right? You wear the goggles to protect yourself. We think that there's an opportunity when the glasses come out for NexTech to potentially be a supplier, basically a middleman between the university and the glasses and the augmented reality, which could represent a significant opportunity in 2021 and 2022 as the glasses come out. As far as price point, it depends on the glasses. I'm sure there's going to be some glasses that are priced at $299, maybe $499. When Apple comes out, guaranteed it's going to be the most expensive pair on the block. That's what they do. But the glasses are coming. There'll be a lot of different glasses, meaning it would be Samsung, LG, Facebook, Google, Snap. I mean, there's lots of different AR glasses that are going to permeate the market. From our standpoint, we just want our tech to work on all of them, and it will.
Okay, wow. So now I finally get it. Now, before it was like, okay, I thought it was for entertainment. Now I really do understand this is going to be a massive, massive game changer. It reminds me really of like when I first was hearing about, the internet, the web, like 95, I was like, who needs this stuff? Like, what is this all about? And by 96, like, I basically launched, Wall Street Reporter Online with audio interviews. And that was like, wow, you can do tremendous things. So, okay, let's go to the questions. So we'll start with the first ones in. We got question. What conference organizers have you partnered with? I guess they want a full list, or?
Yeah, so before we even get to that, I want to just address the halt in the stock because
we got a question. We got a couple of questions.
I know everybody's on the edge of their seat. What I'm going to say is stay tuned. Stay tuned. There will be a press release out. We can't speak to it, obviously, until we put out a press release. But stay tuned. And you could tell I am smiling, so it's not something that I'm upset about.
Okay, so yeah, we got that answers the whole question. So which conference? In terms of which conferences have you partnered with? You want
to? So we have a number of partners. There's probably 30 different partnership agreements in place where they're constantly out there marketing our technology to conferences. So there's a lot.
Okay. Is this conference platform available in German?
Yes, because it's got the language translation. You could record videos in German and load it up, of course, but it also has language translation. So yeah.
Okay. How would AR prove to be productive as a platform, for example, to showcase DNA and RNA in a genetics lab for research?
I mean, we would have to think about that. That's a good question. But you could see the DNA and RNA animated. I think that's something. And you could see it in 3D in the room with you, and you could view it from multiple angles, which you can't do on a screen. I mean, that's just a basic idea behind augmented reality, is that it's 3D volumetric, and you can animate. So, you could pull pieces apart, get a closer look. And so there's a lot you could do. Would require some thinking, obviously.
Okay. What was the live virtual events revenue contribution in Q2?
Very, very little. Q2 ended, well, not that small, actually. Q2 ended June 30th. So I would say, it was probably a couple $100,000 in June, which is really the first month that we were in market with the product. So that was just the beginning.
How much of the success of this business and its popularity is contingent on VR headsets? Will NexTech's AR be seeking agreement with VR headset manufacturers? Maybe he also means
yeah. None of it's dependent on VR. VR is not what this technology is based on. Augmented reality, you don't need the VR goggles for. It's your phone that generates the AR experience. But we are looking at VR as another opportunity, potentially in M&A.
Okay, here we go. Question is, where do we send leads to contact? I guess somebody.
Send them to Paul at nextechar.com.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Evan.
How do clients green screen themselves from home or work?
Either one, exactly. All you need is a green screen. I have one here in my office. It's literally an accordion. You just pull it up, you do a green screen video, put it back down, you're done. It's very, very easy, and anyone can do it.
I think they sell, it's basically just a fabric. They sell for like 20
You
bucks.
get them on Amazon. Yeah.
You can get it on Amazon for like $99 or less. Yeah.
Okay. How does NexTech pivot when a vaccine is found and events return to being in-person on-site events?
Right. So if everybody was listening in my early intro, I was explaining that there's a paradigm shift. Paradigm shift is not like just a temporary thing. It's actually going to stick. And so what's happened is this paradigm shift has occurred. Again, CEOs of companies did not believe that productivity could happen with this work from home, virtual events world. But because it was thrust on them, it was forced on them, the proof is in the ROI, right? So what they're seeing is, wow, productivity is going up, not down, and my cost is going down, not up. So what do you think that means to the long-term viability of video events? It means that it's going to stick. It's not going away. Now, does that mean there's not going to be any conferences? Of course, there's going to be a car show at the Javits Center in New York. Of course, there'll be a boat show at the Javits Center. Of course, Vegas will have Comic-Con or whatever other shows that they put on. But there's going to be, in our estimation, and the industry believes this as well, 30 to 40% of the business, that means 30 to 40% of the 150 billion that's up for grabs, will remain in this virtual world. And over time, as our technology becomes more and more prevalent and more robust, holographic technology, spatial computing, I mean, think about it. The whole idea is you don't need to have the product. You don't need to go see the product. You could bring the product to you, put it in your living room, right? That's what the technology does. And so this virtual world, I mean, we really believe that this is the dawn of a new era, and it's just the beginning. And 40% could turn into 80, 90% over time.
Evan, I just want to elaborate. I think I mentioned this on one of the previous months. We did an interview with Mark Faber, the famous
doom and gloom,
the big investment guru. He's like a visionary, and he said, this is back in February when we interviewed him, right when the Corona thing was happening, and he basically said that before any of the virtual people start talking about virtual, he said, hey, once everybody starts going on virtual, they will never go back. I mean, he basically said, look, once they realize that all the money that they're saving, companies they realize the money they're saving from various meetings, trade shows, this is going to be like a massive thing. So
that's why we call it a paradigm shift. Not a pause. It's a shift. That's it's. I can't really put any bigger words to it than it's a paradigm shift.
Jack, can I just 1 sec on that, just because it's kind of relevant. What our clients, our customers are telling us is that when they're able to collect, because remember, these are online, the attendees' journeys, the qualified leads, and effectively the analytics coming out of that event, and line it up to the type of analytics that we're able to capture at a live event, there's no comparison. Their ability to do a direct ROI line to a qualified lead, to a sales opportunity, or to a booked piece of business is now all online. It's virtual. And so having the analytics coming out of these experiences really helps to cement the ROI and the value prop for the platform. And I think you'll see that continue even when people do go back to live events. Virtually everybody has said they're going to twin. They're going to have, they call it hybrid, but they're going to have the virtual leaned into the live. And they'll probably carry the virtual post live event for some duration because it's all measurable.
Yeah, I mean, I just from my own experience doing events, we used to do a lot of live events, and
Yeah.
I think investor conferences mostly, or hedge fund conferences, and I can tell you that the the virtual thing is much more effective. People are much more attentive. The audience, it's a more people are able to pay attention. And the cost saving. I mean, just the whole thing is. It's better. For the attendees, it's better for everybody, and obviously the cost savings is tremendous. I mean, I think the one thing that maybe everybody has to kind of work on is how do you get that that networking experience. That's kind of the key. Is that's like the thing which is going to be the next thing. Which
So Jack, just to speak to that, I'll tell you what's coming. This is a sneak behind the curtain a little bit. It's shared AR experiences, so that you're in the same experience that I'm in, and it becomes a social experience. I'm saying, Jack, look at this. And you're going, wow, look at it. Unbelievable, Evan. I'm seeing what you're seeing. Do you see that lobster? That thing is huge. And I'm going, yeah, that lobster's incredible. So that's what's coming. That is
almost like a chat, almost like you have chats on like videos, like live chat.
It's chat, but with your eye, visually. Visual chat.
Okay.
Maybe that's what we should call it, AR visual chat. And so, the point is, though, is that that's a 2021 thing. Like, that's not like 10 years away. That's
it's pretty
coming.
close.
Okay. So next question. Are you guys targeting school boards, Canada, US, and Europe?
Yep. Yes. Big time.
Okay. Next question. How expensive is it to create these 3D assets? Maybe like booths, or?
So we're charging. It starts at roughly $10,000 for, let's call it the full Monty, and then you could go off a menu and just do a la carte kind of AR experiences. So it could be as low as $2,500 for, let's say, the hologram that you saw of that woman at Southwest Expo. But the more features, the more functionality, the more AR that you want, obviously the price goes up. But the typical booth without AR is like $500, goes to $1,500. And then with AR really starts at $2,500. $10,000 is within our menu, but you could go to $25,000 if you want some bespoke custom AR experiences built for you, which we can certainly do.
Okay. Where can we go to demo the AR virtual event booth shown in this presentation?
I'm having my CMO put something up on our website. I asked him to do it, and I'm sure it'll be done. I'm just going to say by the end of the week.
Okay. Has there been any progress on the Hollywood AR studio? Can you give us a description of the kind of experience we will get with this content?
The Hollywood AR studio is a complex technology. We basically have that on hold. It's on our roadmap, but it's not right in front of us. So we're working on some holographic technology where we could turn you, Jack, into a hologram and beam you live into a room, and then have you interact with another live hologram, and then have objects around you that you both are seeing. And again, without the glasses, we're talking about on a phone. I mean, these are very complex, difficult things to do. We don't see it as a money-making business today, which is why it's kind of paused. We see it as a money-making business in the future. And so we're going to get to it. It's just not imminent.
Okay. Next question is, it would be wonderful to see this being used for concerts.
We can use it for concerts. In fact, we did a concert. There was a church concert. Believe it or not, churches put on a lot of concerts. I didn't know that, but they do. It's all religious religious themed songs. And so we had a 360-degree camera on stage, and it videoed the entire event. And then we created a portal, just like Paul was showing with the lobster fisherman. And you walk into the stage, basically walk on the stage from from your home. And so, yeah, we can definitely do concerts. If anyone has a concert company, we can do it. Obviously, all concerts have been canceled, but we could take, or we could go and record a band on stage with a 360 camera and create an AR experience that everybody could see.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely when the glasses come, that's going to be big.
Yeah, yeah, that will be big.
Okay, so what's the average order value for Inferno AR? It looks like an amazing product.
So currently, and again, these are early numbers, meaning, you know, we're not 12 months in. So just to be crystal clear for everybody, until you get 12 months worth of revenue and you divide by the number of customers, you really don't have a legitimate bankable number. But the number we have to date is about $40,000 per event. Now, let's be clear, there's a couple of different buckets here. One is events, two is universities. Universities pay us a licensing fee. It's an annual fee. It's a different business model. So a university account will likely be $250,000, $500,000 in annual recurring revenue. These events they've been historically over the past couple of months around $40,000. Now, that was before we introduced Screen AR. We're anticipating that a $40,000 event turns into a couple of $100,000 because there's this reselling of our technology to the booth owners. And so, you know, stay tuned, because 40,000 could turn into 400,000, could turn into $1 million per client, per event, very, very quickly. So that's what's happening in terms of pricing.
Okay. Question here is, instead of actually having to walk through the portal scan in AR, could you possibly put arrow keys in order to move around within the AR experience rather than having the camera?
So they're talking about Matterport, which is basically a real estate technology where, you know, on screen you could sit down and watch and walk into a house or a piece of real estate, and you're basically clicking arrows and it moves you deeper and deeper in, and it's a 360 experience. It's not augmented reality. That's 360. So the whole point, and you really have to experience it for yourself, is that when you walk in, as opposed to clicking arrows, you're immersing yourself in the experience. It's different. So when you experience an immersive AR experience like what Paul was demoing, you realize, I mean, first of all, it's, you know, 360. You're looking up, down, behind you, side. I mean, it feels like you're transported into another place, as opposed to clicking an arrow, which just pushes you from room to room. It doesn't feel like you're being transported. It's immersive, but not as much.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we got okay. You mentioned there's a lot of people asking about the breakdown revenues. Okay, so now we have an interesting question. You mentioned you signed only 4 deals in the last 18 months. What was that referring to?
I don't know what he's talking
Acquisitions.
about. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, no, we signed 4 acquisitions. We landed. Maybe I should change it from signed to we landed. We acquired 4 companies in the last 18 months.
Okay. I think the question was, I think the person maybe was confused about you know, clients for Inferno AR. So maybe that's what it was. Okay, so it's M&A. You know, one thing I think, Evan, maybe you should point out is that you know, we've gotten comments, oh, there's so much news about, you know, just minor, you know, $40,000 contracts or whatever it is. But in reality, I think, you know, I would tell the audience is what makes, you know, NexTech special is the company is very transparent. So you're able to see kind of that velocity of business coming in, which I think is important to,
Yeah.
to see that when you have a new kind of business, so you can see how it's going.
Yeah. So
you're not going to do that probably in 3 months.
Yeah. So let me address that. So the real thing I think that we're trying to communicate isn't the revenue. That's not the thing. We have to disclose revenue. That's just disclosure requirements. If the client allows us to, we disclose the revenue. If they don't allow us to, we don't. Sometimes clients are finicky, and so. But the real value in our press release is that we, as a startup, want to share with our investors that it's not our opinion. It's not Paul and Evan sitting around saying, aren't we great? Don't we have this incredible, we're getting validated by international global corporations. That's the real news, is that validation of our technology, validation of our platform. People are buying what we're selling. The dollar value is not the main event. Wait till our quarterly numbers come in. That's when you know how much we did in revenue for the quarter. These smaller contracts can turn into much, much bigger deals. As we've mentioned, 40,000 can turn into 400,000. We can't announce 400,000 until it's happened and unless the client lets us. So it's just, I think it's a fine line. We're kind of walking on a fine line where we're trying to be transparent. We want to make sure that our investor base understands that our technology is being accepted and validated by major global organizations. The fact that they're paying us $25 or $40 or $50,000, that's just because the market is priced there. That's the market price, right? And so, it is what it is. Last year, the investors were complaining because we were charging $50 per SKU per month. And, everybody thought that we weren't generating enough, right? That our revenues, our AR revenues were too low. They were, when we were just starting. Now we're announcing $40,000 deals. And again, all right, I get it. Everybody wants to see the $1 million deal, the $10 million deal. I want to see that too. It's coming. It is coming. It is coming. It's just in the early days when we're just getting to market, we're just landing deals. We want to announce, hey, we're landing deals. We're in business. It's not just talk. That's the reason, right? We're validating our business model. It's not about the revenue. Wait till our quarterly reports come out before you judge.
Okay, we've got about 200 questions asking about NASDAQ. When are you going on NASDAQ, and is there a chance that you don't get onto NASDAQ?
I should bring my CFO on, since he's the one who's really spearheading that. But we applied July 2nd. They said, it takes roughly 3 weeks before they even, really respond. So I don't think it's been 3 weeks, but we're getting close. We expect that in 60 days, we will be on NASDAQ. It could take longer. There is some Q&A. They do go back and forth. They ask you questions. They ask for more documents. We have spoken to them many times. They told us that they think we qualify. That's why we applied. We didn't apply to get rejected. That would not make any sense. So we still believe that nothing has changed, and we are focused on getting onto NASDAQ. And we believe that it will happen before we roll into Q4.
Okay. I just want to clarify, because I haven't brought it up the last couple of times we've had you on, Evan, is that, we're doing this on the Inferno AR platform.
Yes.
So everything is on the Inferno AR platform, but I think we're only getting like a very basic, we're getting like just a basic version where we're only using like a very simple thing.
Yeah, it is. It is very simple. And, again, we've integrated Zoom into the Inferno platform. So if somebody sees Zoom on screen, that doesn't mean we're not on the Inferno platform. It's Inferno plus Zoom. And we did announce, just so everybody understands, in September, October, we're launching our own Zoom lookalike product, a collaborative video conferencing tool. My team is building that right now, and it will mean that we will no longer be using Zoom. We will have our own Zoom, and that is a very big deal for NexTech and NexTech shareholders. And that's, you know, again, coming very, very soon, like September.
Okay, because I think there's a few questions people are asking, you know, why are we on Zoom? And I guess the answer is that, you know, basically you use Zoom as kind of to feed into the system, and Inferno is the broadcast element.
Yes, and Paul, if you want to elaborate.
I'm happy to talk to it. So we take all of these collaboration tools: Zoom, WebEx, Teams, Skype, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, all of them, because really what we're doing in this conference right now is we're using one page of Inferno. So imagine that conference I showed you, we're basically in a panel, and it's very easy for us to do that. And the reason we do it, particularly with Zoom, is right now there's the three of us in this panel. We've then wrapped it with a security layer, and we're broadcasting it natively through Inferno. So if anybody was to hijack this, they'd only be able to do it with one of our three accounts versus the 10,000 people that are watching it. Maybe there's 1,000 watching right now. So it's a very significant improvement over your ability to broadcast through Zoom from a security point of view. And we do that with all these collab tools, all these collaboration platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. Faith is asking, can you please give us a brief synopsis of the benefits of NexTech's technology that sets it apart from other competitors in terms of efficiency, cost comparisons, etc.? These are the questions from traders at Investors Hub, some of who are not clear on your technology and benefits.
Right. So I think it's important to understand that NexTech has created, and we're in the process of creating, an ecosystem in this world of augmented reality, which is very, very powerful and very, very unique. It's not necessarily that nobody else has Web AR, because there are other people that have Web AR. It's not necessarily that nobody else has an app, because there are other people that have an app. Nobody does have a video conferencing platform with augmented reality, and nobody does have a 3D AR ad network. So some of our tech is common in the market, meaning anyone in the world of augmented reality has similar tech, and some of our tech is unique to NexTech. But what ultimately makes NexTech unique is this ecosystem, this flywheel effect, as we like to call it, where you have different AR businesses feeding the flywheel, where AR for e-com is feeding our ad network. Our ad network is feeding AR for e-com. It's this cycle of business going back and forth between those two. And then you have our Web AR feeding the app, and the app feeding Web AR. So you just have this ecosystem where there's cross-selling, cross-marketing. We're just scratching the surface. There's nobody else on the planet that has all of the offerings that NexTech has, where if you come in through our front door, it's not one size fits all. It's not one and done. It's very, very broad, a very broad group of product offerings within the AR space. So anything video, we have a solution for you. And that's really the name, the nexus of the company. NexTech AR Solutions, many solutions, not one solution. It's not one thing that we do. So that's really the value prop that NexTech brings to the market.
Okay. Let me also add that most of the discussion, the NexTech discussion, is on Yahoo Finance under NEXCF ticker. So I think there's like 3,000 messages there. That's probably the biggest. That's probably the biggest community. Although there is actually some, there are people who post, false reports on this, and just, caveat emptor, whatever you read. Okay, so Robert is asking, will AR hologram latency improve using smartphones as 5G becomes more available to end users, or is it acceptable with today's 4G bandwidth?
100% yes, 100%. As 5G becomes more prevalent, the AR holograms will rise up, and AR use cases in general. So yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason why the glasses haven't hit the market isn't really for lack of demand, it's for lack of 5G. Without 5G, it really doesn't work. You need 5G. The glasses are all going to run off of 5G. So that's really, you know, it's technology that's kind of holding the glasses back, and that's definitely going to impact the holographic market for sure.
Okay, so Larry's asking, Evan, do you plan on doing a stock split in the future?
I mean, if we get to $150 a share, I might do a split.
Okay. Next question is, can you talk about your partnership with Fastly and how that differentiates your V-conferencing platform from Zoom and others?
So you could read the press release. It just basically announced that breakthrough technology where we bring security all the way to the edge of the cloud. That's what Fastly is. They're edge computing company, edge cloud computing. And so we're able to partner with them and bring the security on the Inferno AR platform all the way to the edge of the cloud. It's breakthrough technology. Read the press release, and it'll give you a little more color on that.
Okay. A couple of questions about patents. Like what patent protection do you have on any of your technologies?
So we've answered this question a few times. Obviously, we're in the process now. Paul's working with our IP attorney to start filing some patents around screen AR and some other tech that we've developed. But to date, because our business is really constantly evolving, our technology has constantly been evolving, we haven't put a big emphasis on patents, because who wants to patent something that you're just going to obsolete in 3 or 6 months? So we kind of waited till we had a product that was really in market and scalable before we decided to invest the many thousands of dollars and potentially millions into IP. So as a small startup, we decided to not put a big emphasis on that in the past. However, as we go forward, we are going to put a much bigger emphasis on it. So we have limited patents, but stay tuned.
Okay, question. Why is the Dallas school district contract only for $21,000? Is that for a year of service or 2 years, or is there recurring costs?
So Dallas really asked us not to communicate publicly about their contract. They weren't really even super excited that we put out that press release. And so the net of Dallas is that we're just not going to address it. It's there's been a lot of chatter about it. Suffice it to say that we did sign a deal with the Dallas School District. I think everybody has seen it, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
Okay. I think I saw on one of the message boards there was somebody saying that there was no contract, and then like 4 hours later, I saw a picture of the actual screenshot of but it was under the name of Jalokia, whatever the original.
Yeah. I think that's where the confusion was, is that, we have a number of wholly owned subsidiaries. Jalokia is one of them. And so sometimes we sign under our subsidiary. And then if you ask the customer, you ever hear of NexTech? They'll say, no, I've never heard of NexTech, which, obviously creates doubt and confusion, but it shouldn't be such a big deal. Like, that must happen all the time in business.
Okay, Evan, I think we're getting we're going to have probably about 60 more questions. I think we're already 90 minutes in. Do you guys want to wrap it up, and then we'll do like a follow-up interview, and I can ask like whatever questions we have later, like next week.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would just end it on the fact that we're just getting started. This is a multi-decade, multi-trillion-dollar mega trend. I'm talking about augmented reality and virtual reality, spatial computing. And what we're doing is we're taking our technology stack and we're applying it to products like video conferencing and creating something net new in the market. And that's really, really exciting, I think, for our shareholders, for us. And I think it's going to create a tremendous amount of value as we go forward. As I mentioned earlier, we're now shifting away from startup mode into M&A mode. We're going to get very aggressive on the M&A side. So stay tuned, because there's a lot of exciting acquisitions, and the ones that we're going to make are not going to be incremental. We're looking for transformational types of acquisitions. Acquisitions that come with big technology stacks, or luminaries, people that you know are well respected in industry, or bolt-on acquisitions that add a tremendous amount of value to our tech stack. So that's really where I want to leave it. I don't know, Paul, if you have anything you want to add.
No, I think I'm pretty good. I think everybody heard me go through the platform. But yeah, I guess just quickly, the pickup has been great. You know, as I'm sure you've seen through announcements, we've been adding both to the front end of the business through sales reps, enterprise class sales reps, as well as on the delivery side of the business. So we're scaling significantly to meet the demand of the booked orders. So it's definitely an exciting time right now.
Okay, so we're up to about almost 200 questions here, so we're not going to have time to address these. So we will answer, hopefully, Evan, next week we'll do an interview. We'll answer, maybe 20, 30 questions. And I want to thank everybody in the audience for joining us. We look forward to having you back again soon. And, Evan and Paul, thank you again, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.